Hello guys, welcome back to ESENtaxa. Andrea Papito here. In this specific video we are going to talk about the acquisition of citizenship in one of the European countries, which are the advantages, disadvantages, and something that probably you didn't consider if you're applying for a certain country citizenship for any reasons. If you're new to this channel, ESENtaxa talks about how optimize your taxation if you want to relocate into a specific jurisdiction in Europe, and we explain with tax simulation and thanks to consultancy services if the relocation to that specific country for you it's a good choice tax-wise, of course, and we can basically help you to understand, based on your structure, based on your situation, based on your companies, based on your type of activity and based on your family, which is the best way to optimize your taxation, to minimize your taxation if you're moving in that specific country in Europe, okay? We have plenty of videos on already several jurisdictions in our YouTube channel, so subscribe to the channel, notification bell, and like button if you like this kind of content. And last things, in the description below the video you can be in contact with us through our email info@esentaxa.com, or you can straight book a consultation with us to verify your situation with 1 hour call, 20-minute call, 2 hours call, or a tax simulation. Now let me go straight to the point of this video's topic. We're going to discuss about the citizenship acquisition in one of the European countries. Why? Even though we are not a firm consulting people on acquiring the citizenship, but we are a consulting firm on optimized taxes if you want to relocate in a specific country, and a lot of clients, when they ask us consultation, when they try to understand taxes, they always are worried. Well, most of the cases, not all of them, but most of the cases are worried about the citizenship in the first place. Well, let's first clarify some points here. Whenever you say that I'm a citizen of a certain country and you want to relocate in another country, the citizenship that probably you're acquiring to move in that country is just needed to move there, to avoid having the long process of obtaining a visa, or long process of being always or dealing with immigration rules along with the tax rules. So it's just a big advantages of being citizen of the country you're moving to. This is out of doubt, that's for sure. But tax-wise, in most of the cases, has nothing to do. I mean, or simply, if you acquire a citizenship of that specific country you're moving to, tax-wise, nothing changes. Except for certain kind of citizens, such as US citizen or citizen from those countries where there is a taxation-based system. And actually, the only country in the world today that applies a full, complete, and well-structured taxes on citizenship is the United States. So you know, guys, if you are a US citizen and you move to another country, you pay taxes first in that country you're moving to, because the country in which you are becoming resident has that priority of taxing you first, and then you keep declaring your taxes in the United States and you use the taxes paid in that country as a tax credit against the US taxes. Of course, this is a very general principle, but there are a lot of details in the middle. So it's a matter of another video or this precise consultancy. So except US people, because US has also a mechanism called FACTA, which is the protocol that allows exchange of information among countries. So United States has put in place an extensive number of conventions and also protocols to receive from foreign country information about their citizens moving abroad. And this is the only country that has this kind of power, let's say. All the rest of the countries, even if they try to impose or make a sort of similar scenario, they don't have this amazing structure to receive information from their citizens. And now I'm gonna tell you something about France, which is one of the countries that wants to, I don't know, has the frenzy, he wants to immediately apply this kind of taxation as US does. They want to impose taxes on French citizens because they are afraid that French millionaires flee the country because they want to pay less taxes, okay? Because France, you know, it's going to rise more and more taxes to their citizens and to their residents. So probably they want to do something. It's not yet a precise law, it's not yet definitive. I don't know, I mean, we have to check how would be the final decision, the final amendment, the final details of this French law, but if this will be published and approved, French citizens will be liable on taxes based on their citizenship. It's different from US system. If you want, we can make a video. If you like this kind of topic, we can also make a video here in ESENtaxa to explain you about what's going to happen in France. Now, France is the only country in Europe that's trying to mimic what US government is doing. Is trying to tax their citizen on citizenship. No matter where they live, they get taxed under certain conditions. The rest of the European countries not work like this. All the European countries, they're basically in taxes their citizen on their residence. So based on their leave, they got taxed. And this works. If you're, for example, if you're looking for a citizenship of Portugal, of Belgium, Luxembourg, Romania, Bulgaria, whatever European Union country, and you become citizen of that country, you not get taxed if you move out from the country. Let's imagine you receive the citizenship of Portugal and then you're moving in another country using as a Portuguese citizen. Nothing will happen in terms of taxation. Okay, same for Italy. If you become Italian citizen, Italy doesn't impose taxes on your Italian citizenship. Nothing will change. If you live in Italy, you will pay taxes on Italy and worldwide. If you move out of Italy, you will pay taxes in the country you are moving to. That's it. Fairly simple. There are some details inside this law, and there are some small details inside the European legislation laws. And here I want to just clarify some points. It's true that all European countries, they impose taxes on the residency, but it's also true that some European countries, they don't let their citizen leave without paying something in exchange. So if, for example, if you are a citizen of Finland or you are a citizen of Denmark, if I'm not wrong, or Sweden, you have to pay anyway a sort of exit tax before leaving your country. And this is not just for the citizen of that country, but also for residents that live there for a certain amount of year. So a resident of that benefit from their welfare of Finland or pay social security in Finland for several years, if they leave the country, they have to pay an exit tax in order to not be anymore tax resident on Finland. Sweden, for example. Sweden has a system that says if you are a Swedish citizen and if you're moving out of Sweden for a certain number of years, if I'm not wrong, it's 3 years, you have to still pay taxes on Sweden on certain type of incomes, and this kind of system Sweden had implemented since a lot of years, and this makes this system valid based on the convention that Sweden already agreed with the rest of the country in Europe and for the rest of the country in the world. If you check the convention between Sweden and Italy, for example, it's explicitly written that a Swedish citizen, they will keep paying taxes on Sweden even if they move to Italy, for example, because it's been written in the convention, something that, for example, France cannot do, because France has completely different conventions against the law that you are going to publish now about the citizenship. So you see? Anyway, so if you're thinking to become a Swedish citizen, for example, you have to think about, look, if you want to leave this country, it's not that easy and you cannot do it immediately. But then at a certain point, you will be free from taxes from Sweden. Another example, if you become Spanish citizen, or if you become Italian citizen, as I said before, no problem. You can move whatever country in the world you want in your world. You just have to subscribe yourself in a consulate, which is a specific office for Italian citizen, and also for Spanish citizen. So those countries implement a system of asking their citizens to register themselves in the consulate or the embassy in the country where they are relocating to, and that's fine. But there is here a catch. If you are Spanish citizen or if you are Italian citizen, just acquired the citizenship, and you're moving to tax haven country at the eyes of the Italian tax agency or at the eyes of Spanish tax agency, since you're Italian citizen, you acquired the citizenship, you are still liable on Italian taxes worldwide unless you prove the contrary. You see? So there are some differences. I mean, the fact that you acquired the Italian citizenship, it creates some problems at a certain point. So you have to make sure that if you acquire the Italian citizenship and you move to Monaco, for example, the Principate of Monaco, Italy considers you by default Italian tax resident unless you prove the contrary. What does it mean practically? It means that you move there, probably they never ask you anything, but if they somehow found you there, they found that you have earned also some income from Italy, still you have some property under rent in Italy, they might say you are still Italian tax resident and you are liable of Italian taxes even if you're moving to Monaco, and then to prove the contrary is at your charge, which means that you have to prove with documents that you're really living in that country. But if you're not an Italian citizen, this doesn't concern you. So you see, acquiring the citizenship of a specific country is true, especially for European countries. It's true that basically doesn't change in terms of taxation, generally speaking, but there are certain things that might change when you have to then leave the country, okay? When you want to exit the country again. So Italy and Spain behave in very similar ways. There are certain countries in Europe, as I said before, basically nothing happened. Belgium is one of those countries. If you become Belgian citizen, then if you want to move out of Belgium, you just go to the municipality in which you were living in, you say, I'm leaving, that's it. And for more than 6 months, of course, they won't consider you anymore Belgian tax resident. Nothing to be done. But if you're a citizen of one of these Scandinavian countries, you might be liable of an exit tax as a citizen if you want to leave again. So be careful about this point. Citizenship, it's a very good way to have multiple assistance from multiple countries, to have a double country. So it's extremely convenient. I'm totally agree about this mentality of acquiring multiple citizenship. It's very nice, but you have to also find out that the country from which you are in which you are acquiring the citizenship is going to a direction of imposing taxes on citizenship first, so you have to evaluate this probability in the future, so learning about what is the feeling of the country, or if there is a country that already makes some differences between a foreign resident versus a local citizen that won't in the future exit again the country, because you have to, if you're not digital nomad, you might live in the country for a certain number of years and then you want to leave, but you need the citizenship of the country just to move and avoiding visa, especially if you want to move around the European Union. And that's a classical thing that a lot of people is doing. I'm acquiring the citizenship of no matter which European countries because I have some ancestors there. I can basically do it because I'm married with one of the European people, I can acquire the citizenship, but then I have to make sure that this doesn't affect my taxes. Actually, 90% of the cases nothing happens, but there are some small situations in which you have to be careful. And here in ESENtaxa, we can consult you also about this point, because we are checking tax-wise if a relocation in that specific country makes sense, and also if the citizenship of that country makes sense. Okay? So, thank you for watching this video. If you like this kind of content, you simply have to subscribe to the channel, notification bell and like button to always be notified for free whenever we release this kind of content. Thank you. See you to the next video. Bye.